joint session of the House and the Senate, they will count those votes unless there is one member of the House and at least one member of the Senate that objects, in which case they'll collapse the joint session and go back to their respective chambers to deliberate and vote, whatever they're determined to do. And then, of course, on January 20th, everything else being equal, Mr. Obama would be sworn in. So there's a lot of focus on the electors now. And one of those lawsuits, the first one, was brought by the Justice Foundation, United States Justice Foundation, on behalf of another person who was on the ballot for president representing the American Independent Party, Alan Keyes, and two of the electors in that state. And one of the attorneys representing them, besides Gary Krieb, is Orly Taitz. Orly, would you tell us about the facts of your case and your legal arguments and the status of the case?
Can you hear me? And that's something new in my two cases.
Could I interrupt? I've been curious, I'm sorry. You have an accent.
Yeah.
Could you explain that?
Sure.
I often meant to ask.
And I have to tell you, one of the reasons I'm so up in arms about this case, because during this election cycle, the media in the United States of America was worse than media in communist Russia. Absolutely worse. I have to tell you, because I could see program after program, all of the anchormen and anchor women were reading from one script. They might have had different haircuts, they might have had different suits, but they were all talking like zombies. They say, people have helped me with the blog, and within 10 days, the rate of hits went from 100 a day to nearly 3,000 a day. So many people are concerned about this fraud being perpetrated on the citizens of this country by Barack Obama and the media. Absolutely outraged. And I would like Mr. Obama to look in the eyes of somebody like Mr. Turner, who risked his life for this country, and tell him arrogantly, as he did until now, that he wouldn't do as little as take 1 minute of his time, sign a consent form, and say, I, Barack Obama, consent for release of all necessary documents to prove my eligibility. How hard it is to do. This man risked his life for this country, and all the other people on the in this lawsuit did so. And Barack Obama cannot show his original birth certificate? It's a disgrace.
Yes.
And I've been getting correspondence from people all over the world. I just got a phone call from Japan, from Australia, from Sweden, from Germany, from England, from all over the world. And everybody is saying, what is wrong with your media? Why aren't they covering it? This is the biggest story of the century, and U.S. media is not covering it. And I know that U.S. media is more to the left than Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels and Lenin taken together. I know that. But I'm concerned that maybe it's not just that. Think about it. Most of the media in this country is owned in the hands of maybe, a handful of companies, 6 companies. And those companies have financial dealings with foreign governments. I was reading not long ago that, as you know, NBC and MSNBC is owned by GE. And just last year, GE has sold its plastics division, GE Plastics, to the basic industries of Saudi Arabia for $1.6 billion.
That's right.
And I'm wondering, when $1.6 billion are paid to this company that owns such a big share of our media, and so much money is changing hands, could it be that there was some deal made somewhere so that their protege is not being hurt, God forbid, so that nobody is saying anything negative about their protege? Possible. Don't you think so? And that's why one of the problems that we have right now is that not only we have to do whatever needs to be done to make sure that Barack Obama is not in the White House because he is not eligible to be there, but we need to do whatever needs to be done to clean up the media in the United States, to make sure that there are sanctions.
Right.
As you know, what was it, a year ago, there was a program, they were showing a football match, and famously Janet Jackson had her bra malfunction, and there were sanctions because it was indecent. Don't you think that it is indecent that for a year now nobody in the media has shown the difference between this birth certificate that Obama put on his Fight the Smears website, which I personally call Fight the Truth website, which shows nothing, and real birth certificate that should show the name of the hospital and the name of the doctor? Don't you think that in a year nobody could find 5 minutes to approach Mr. Obama and tell him, Mr. Obama, why are you not showing your original birth certificate? Why aren't you showing your college records? Why aren't you showing all of those documents to the American people? Another, can I, tell me how much time I have. Another thing I wanted to say, that the issue is not just birth certificate. Birth certificate just helps illustrate this issue. But the point is, regardless of where Mr. Obama was born, whether he was born in Hawaii or Kenya, he is not a natural born citizen. It makes no difference. And in the legal action of Lightfoot v. Bowen, I have brought citations from framers of our Constitution. When U.S. Constitution was written, prior to it being adopted, the first Chief Judge of the United States of America, John Jay, has written a letter, and this letter was written to George Washington. Permit me to him whether it